Hi students, again welcome you all for this session, wonderful session. In this session you are going to learn the same chapter 2. Already have taught some topics. Today we are going to discuss entire topics of chapter 2, database concepts. And today the points to know: evolution of DBMS, acid properties, keys in DBMS, ER model, ER modeling basic concepts, types of entity. In these types of entity, three types of entity are there: weak entity, strong entity, and entity instance, attributes, ER diagram, and privileges. These are all the points we are going to discuss today. And first, I would like to give a small introduction about evolution of DBMS. So, DBMS already explained you database management system. Before the evolution of database management system, and people they have they have maintained all the records in notebook itself. While maintaining all the records in notebooks, error or any mistakes may occur. After the intervention, after the invention of database management system, everything has become computerized, so that the errors and mistakes may minimized. And next one, why we have to use database management system? Because of using database management system, because of using database, we can avoid data duplication. Data duplication is nothing but same data is used by multiple resources for processing, thus created multiple copies of the same data, wasting spaces. Because of using same record for different usage, for different purpose, for different persons, because of creating same record for different by different persons, duplication of data may occur in that place. Because of duplication of data occurring, it may occupy many space. It can occupy a large space in that particular data, so that we have to use DBMS to avoid the data duplication. Next one is high maintenance. Access control and verifying of data consistency needs high maintenance cost. To maintain the database management system, we have to pay much money. We have to pay more money to maintain the database. Next one is security. Less security provided to the data. It is enough to provide less security. If you are keeping all the records as a manual records, you have to put a security or watchman to maintain or to watch the records. But if you are keeping everything as a computerized data, no need to put any watchman or like that. So it is enough to give less security to the data. So database, because of these 3 points, database systems becomes more popular to overcome the above limitations of the file systems. Next one is acid properties. The acronym stands for acid properties are A for atomicity, C for consistency, I for isolation, and D for durability. It is an important 3 mark question. So here atomicity follows the thumb rule, all or nothing. While updating the data in database, it will update the whole database or nothing. That is what known as here atomicity. Consistency is nothing but if you are taking money from your account, immediately they will send a message. From the bank itself they will send a message. That is what called as consistency. The updation, up to date, that is what known as here consistency. Here isolation is nothing but your data alone they will isolate from other data. Durability is long term, and you can keep your data as long as possible. That is what known as here durability. Next one is keys. Many keys are there in database management system, but in your book they have given four different types of keys. One is primary key, next one is foreign key, and next one is super key, and the last one is composite key. And we will let you know one by one what is primary key, what is foreign key, what is super key, and what is composite key. First one, primary key. Primary key is a key which is used to identify a record uniquely in a table. That is what known as here primary key. If you are able to set any field, you are able to set any one field as a primary key. You are not able to set more than one field as a primary key for a table. For example, in this table id is the primary key for this table. You are not able to set more than that of any primary key for this table. Next one is foreign key. Foreign key, it is a copy of primary key. Foreign key, it is a copy of primary key that has been exported from one relation into another to represent the existence of relationship between them. So in simple term, foreign key which represents primary key of another table, that is the ultimate definition of foreign key. Foreign key which is used to represent primary key of another table, that is what known as here foreign key. See the definition: a foreign key in one table points to a primary key in another table. A foreign key can have a different name than primary key it comes from. This is what known as foreign key. Next one is super key. Super key, in the term of primary key, you are able to set any one field as a primary key for a table, but here you can set more than one field. You can set more than one field as a super key for a single table. Here super key is nothing but an attribute or group of attributes which is sufficient to distinguish every tuple in the relation from every other one is known as super key. So in a database table, you are able to set more than one super key. You are able to set more than one field as a super key or super keys for a single table. That is what known as here super key. Each super key is called as a candidate key. See here, for this table I have set more than one super key for a single table. Each super key is known as candidate key. A candidate key is selected from a set of super keys. From this we can set or we can select any one as a candidate key. While selecting candidate key, redundant attribute should not be taken. Here redundant attribute is nothing. The data duplication is should not be there. That is what redundant attributes. So while selecting a candidate key from the super keys, we have to select which one do not have duplicate values. That is what very important here to select a candidate key. The candidate key is also known as minimal super keys. Candidate key is also known as minimal super keys. So next one is composite keys. A key with more than one attribute to identify rows uniquely in a table is called as composite key. With the help of these keys, both these attributes, we are able to identify a record uniquely. That is what known as here composite key. Here I have set two different fields as composite keys for this single table, name and city. These two keys are composite key for this single table. Arya from Noida, Brian from Delhi, John from Noida, and Arya from Chennai. So because two Arya are there, we have to distinguish which one comes from Noida and which one comes from Chennai. For this purpose I have set two different fields as composite keys for this one. Next one is ER diagram. So here, before going to see ER diagram, you have to know ER model. What is ER model? ER model is one type of database model. So in this ER model, everything is saved as real world objects. So here in ER modeling basic concepts are there. The basic concepts are entity or entity type, attributes or relationship. A relationship already I have taught to you, and here I'm going to teach entity or entity type and attributes. This is what we are going to discuss today. These are all the general concepts. Which one? Entity, attributes and relationship. These three things are help to create an ER diagram for creating a database model. So entity is nothing but a table is known as entity. A table is known as entity or relation, and while categorizing types of entity, we can categorize the types of entity into three types. One is weak entity, the second one is strong entity, and the third one is entity instance. Weak entity, it is nothing, a set of attribute may not have sufficient, a set of table or a table may not have sufficient attributes to set a primary key. That is what known as here weak entity. Strong entity, it is nothing but a, an entity or a table may have sufficient attributes to set a primary key. That is what known as here strong entity. Weak entity depends another strong entity. Weak entity must depend another strong entity to have a primary key, but strong entity must have a primary key in it. That is what the difference between weak entity and strong entity. And entity instance, the values of entity is known as instance here. Suppose if you are having animal is an entity, dog, cow, lion, these are all values of or instance of that entity. That is what known as here entity instance. Next one is attributes. Attribute is nothing but information about the entity, and it will describe quantity, qualify, classify and specify an entity. It will the attributes, it will specify the quantity, quality of item, of an item. That is what known as here attributes. And we can classify the attributes into five types. One is key attribute, second one is simple attributes, third one is composite attributes, fourth one is single valued attributes, fifth one is multi-valued attribute. Key attribute, it is nothing. The first one, key attribute, it is nothing. Generally a key attribute describes a unique characteristics of an entity. The key attribute, also known as primary key attribute. The key attribute which is used to describe a unique characteristic of an entity. Next one is simple attribute. Here simple attribute cannot be separated. We are not able to separate the simple attribute. It will be having a single value for their entity. For example, let us consider the name as the attribute for the entity employee, and here the value for that attribute is a single value. Suppose if you are having a table of an employee, you are not able to break the name of an employee. If you are breaking name of an employee, it doesn't make any sense. So simple attribute have single value, which means it cannot be separated. Next one is composite attributes. Here composite attributes can be subdivided into simple attributes without change its meaning of that attribute. For example, here you are able to for this composite attribute, here you are able to break the name of an employee. So next one is single valued attribute. Single valued attribute contains only one value for the attributes, and they do not have multiple numbers of values. For example, for a person only one age will be there. For the same person only one exam number will be there. That is what the example of single valued attributes. Next one is multi-valued attributes. A multi-valued attribute has more than one value for that particular attribute. That is what known as here multi-valued attribute. A single person can study more than one degree. That is the main example for multi-valued attribute. And a single person can have more than one bank account for different branches. Maybe a single person can have account in SBI, the same single person can have account in HDFC or other branches of HDFC. So this is what known as attributes. So next one is ER diagram. While representing the things within the boxes or within while representing the things or while representing a table with the help of ER diagram, we have to use some shapes. So what are the shapes are there for ER diagram? What are the meaning of the shapes we are going to see now? ER component, these are all ER component, and description about the component and shapes for the component. And first one is entity strong, and for this we have to use simple rectangular box. And I already told you, I already explained you what is a strong entity, what is weak entity. So next one is weak entity. For this we have to use double rectangular box. If you are using double rectangular box for an entity, that should be weak entity. Next one is relationship. To create a relationship between the tables we have to use diamond box, and this is what known as rhombus symbol strong. If you are using double diamond box between the rectangular boxes, that should become weak relationship. So next one is ellipse. Next component is attribute. While representing the attribute we have to use ellipse symbol. Here attributes is nothing but what are the fields you are going to give for a table, that should become attributes. For example, serial number, name, age, mark 1, mark 2, mark 3, and etc. These are all become attributes of a table. While representing these attributes we have to give within ellipse symbol. So next one is key attribute for entity. If you are set a field, if you are set a field as a primary key, that should be denoted underlined ellipse, that should be denoted within ellipse, and that should be underlined. And next one is derived attribute for an entity. If you are deriving an attribute from any other table, that should be within dotted ellipse inside the main ellipse, that should be dotted ellipse inside the main ellipse. So next one is multi-valued attribute. If you are having an attribute with multi-valued attribute, that should be denoted within doubled ellipse, and this is what ER diagram. It is an important 5 mark. Next one is privileges. What are the privileges the DBMS giving to the user? That is what here privilege is nothing but action should perform. What are the actions we can perform within the table? That is what known as here privileges. First one is select privilege. With the help of this privilege, user can select rows from the database table. Next one is insert privileges. With the help of this insert privilege, the user can insert values into the rows. Next one is update privilege. User can update rows. User can update records for the existing records with help of this update privilege. Next one is delete privilege. With the help of this delete privilege, user can delete rows of a database table. Next one is create privilege. With the help of this create privilege, user can create new tables for the database or in a database. Next one is alter privilege. With the help of this alter privilege, user can make changes into a database table or structure. User can make changes into a database structure. And next one is cardinality. So here what is maybe cardinality? Cardinality is nothing but it shows degrees of relationship between the entity. So here the degrees of relationship may happen 1 to 1, 1 to many, many to 1, or 1 to many. This is what degrees of relationship between the tables, or this is what known as cardinality. And I already explained you how to create a database table for how to create database table. I already explained you. For that we have to install XAMPP server in our laptop or in our personal computer, in your personal computer. And after opening the XAMPP server you have to start Apache as well as MySQL. If you are not start any one of these, any one among them, you are not able to create database table. And here you have to click admin. After clicking admin, your local host will be opened in a web browser, in Google Chrome web browser. And after opening this one, you can create a database. Under the database you are able to create a table. So, and these are all the database I have created already. And if you want to create a new database, click here new. After clicking new, here you have to give the database name. Here RK is my database name, and after that you have to, here you have to select privileges, and afterwards create. After creating the database, see here, in this database you are able to create any table. Here I am going to give student, student, and number of columns you can give more than 5, 6, whatever you want you can give here. You just go. After giving this one, see here, these are a number of columns. Here you have to give the column name, and serial number, and this should be integer. And here you have to give length of this. Here no need to give nothing. Whatever the thing you want you can give here. And collation, no need to give anything here. Attributes, no need to give. And next one is, here you can give name, and it should be character or varchar. See here, for string we have to use character, and here 20. And next one, here you can give age, and here you can give 6, and here you can give add address, and age should be integer, and this should be 2, and no need to give other things. And 6 should be character ch, and here it should be 1, because no need to give the full name like female or male. And address, it should be character, and here 50, and save. The name add is MySQL reserved, add reserved keyword. Add is a reserved keyword, so that we have to change as address. Yes, student table has been created. Suppose if you want to make any changes here, you can do with the help of change option. So next one is we have to add records into it. For that we have to go here and here insert into values, like that we have to give here, and this one has been taught already, and again I will send the link today also. Next one is, this is what known as MySQL administration, and MySQL administration responsibilities is nothing. DBA, who is DBA? Database administrator, who takes care of configuration, installation, performance, security and data backup of DBA process, the skills on database design, database queries, RDBMS, SQL and networking. The person should be known as database administrator. And next one is MySQL administration open source software tools. What are the software tools are there for using MySQL? Totally three different types of MySQL open source softwares they have given in your book, page number 74. Many open source tools are available in the market to design a database and to create a table in the database in a better and efficient manner. PHP MyAdmin. Now we are using PHP MyAdmin. Now we are using, see here, PHP MyAdmin. This is what the database open source tool we have using now. Is most popular for web administration. It is the most popular SQL, MySQL administration database table, database software. With the help of this, you are able to create a table and you are able to exporting the CSV file, exporting the Excel file into it. That is what the main usage of PHP MyAdmin. First one is PHP MyAdmin Web Admin. This is specially designed for website administration. This is specially designed for website administration. This administrative tool of MySQL is a web application written in PHP. This tool is written in PHP language. They are used predominantly in web hosting. The main feature is providing web interface, importing data from CSV and exporting data into various formats. It generates live charts for monitoring MySQL server activities like connections, processes and memory usage. It also helps in making the complex queries easier. Next one is MySQL Workbench, and this is specially designed for desktop application. It is a database tool used by developers and DBAs mainly for visualization. This tool helps in data modeling, development of SQL server configuration and backup for MySQL in a better way. Its basic release version is 5.0 and now it is available as 8.0, version 8.0. It's supporting all operating system. It will run all types of operating system, whether it may be Windows operating system or Linux, Unix, whatever it is, it can run. And next one is IDSQL, and it is also especially designed for desktop application. This open source tool helps in the administration of better database management system. It supports GUI, graphical user interface. All the other administrative tools are also based on GUI, and this is also based on GUI. Feature for monitoring server host, server connection, databases, tables, views, trigger and events. Event is nothing. What are the things happened today? That is what known as here events. So next one is we are going to see subqueries. Next one we are going to see subqueries. Subqueries are nothing but Here the SQL query is written within the main query. If you are writing a query within the main query, that should be known as subquery. This is called as nested query or inner query or subquery. The subquery is executed first and the results of subquery are used as the condition for main query. If you are writing a subquery inside the main query, the subquery is going to execute first, and then based on the result of subquery only the main query should be executed. And the subquery must follow three rules. One is subqueries are always written within the parenthesis. If you are writing a subquery within the main query, your subquery should be contained within the parenthesis, which means within brackets. Within the brackets only you have to write the subqueries. Always place the subquery on the right side of the comparison operator. This is the second rule. The third one is order by class is not used in subquery since subqueries cannot manipulate the result internally. You are not able to use order by class. You are not able to use order by class while using the subquery, and the subqueries cannot manipulate the table. That is what the third rule. And it is in your book page number 81. See the things very well clearly, and again I will send the same links to you all, and these are all untaught topics of chapter 2. Prepare well for today's test. Don't be lazy. And some other topics are there. Joining tables. The next topic is joining tables. With the help of some queries, you are able to join the attributes of two different tables. From one table to another table, you are able to join the attributes or rows of two different tables with the help of some queries. For that we have to use queries, and I will teach you later for this join table queries. And a small introduction about the SQL. SQL, the expansion of SQL is nothing structured query language. It is a standard language used for accessing and extracting the records from a table, and it is declared as standard language by ANSI, American National Standards Institute, and International Organization for Standardization in 1986 and 1987 respectively. And though SQL is a standard language and it has different versions are maintained to meet the requirements, few major functions performed using SQL are listed below. One is executing queries against a database. The second one is retrieves data from database. The third one is insert and update records in a database. Fourth one is delete records from a database. Fifth one is create new databases and new tables in a database. And already I have explained you DDL commands, DML commands, TCL commands, DQL commands, everything I already explained you. Though I have explained you already, I will send the same links to you again. Prepare well for today's test, and I will send another link for how to install XAMPP server for your computer with this link. So students, don't be lazy. Prepare well for the test today. Thank you all for watching the video. Watch the video clearly. Thank you once again. Thank you all.